Hello. Come along as we head back to the White House and visit with Herbert Hoover. America's 31st president took office in 1929, the year the U.S. economy plummeted into the Great Depression. Although his predecessor's policies undoubtedly contributed to the crisis, which lasted over a decade, Hoover bore much of the blame in the minds of the American people. As the Depression deepened, Hoover failed to recognize the severity of the situation or leverage the power of the federal government to squarely address it. A successful mining engineer before entering politics, the Iowa-born president was widely viewed as callous and insensitive towards the suffering of millions of desperate Americans. As a result, Hoover was soundly defeated in the 1932 presidential election by Democrat Franklin D. Roosevelt, who we'll get to in a later video. Herbert Clark Hoover was born on August 10th, 1874, in West Branch, Iowa. The first president born on the west of the Mississippi. He was the second of 3 children in the family of Quakers who valued honesty, industriousness, and simplicity. His father, Jesse Clark Hoover, whose life spanned from 1846 to 1880, worked as a blacksmith, and his mother, Hudula Minthor Hoover, whose life spanned from 1848 to 1884, was a teacher. Orphaned at the age of 9, Hoover was raised primarily by an uncle in Oregon. Did you know, on March 3rd of 1931, President Herbert Hoover signed a law that made the Star-Spangled Banner, based on the 1814 poem by Francis Scott Keyes, whose life spanned from 1779 to 1843, America's national anthem. After attending Quaker schools, Hoover became the first part of the first class to enter Stanford University when it opened in 1891. He graduated 4 years later with a degree in geology and launched a lucrative career as a mining engineer. Intelligent and hardworking, Hoover traveled all over the world to find valuable mineral deposits to establish business enterprise to extract the resources. His work made him a multimillionaire. On February 10th of 1899, Hoover married his college sweetheart, Lou Henry, whose life spanned from 1874 to 1944, and the couple had 2 sons, Herbert, whose life spanned from 1903 to 1969, and Alan Henry, whose life spanned from 1907 to 1993. At the start of World War I, Hoover dedicated his talents to humanitarian work. He helped 120,000 stranded American tourists return home from Europe, when the hostilities broke out and coordinated the delivery of food and supplies to citizens of Belgium after that country was overrun by Germany. When U.S. entered the war in 1917, President Woodrow Wilson appointed Hoover head of the Food Administration. Hoover encouraged Americans to reduce their consumption of meat and other commodities in order to ensure steady supply of food and clothing for the Allied troops. Once the war ended, Hoover was as the head of American Relief Administration arranged shipments of food and aid to war-ravaged Europe. He earned worldwide acclaim for his humanitarian efforts, as well as thousands of appreciative letters from people across Europe who benefited from the free meals known as Hoover lunches. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.